Hello, so today we're going to learn about DNS, Domain Name System. So, do you have any idea of what is DNS? DNS is basically a translation system that allows humans to search the internet using language we're comfortable with. So, without DNS, there will be no internet as we know exists. You couldn't do your shopping online or even stream to the best music on your iPhone, and even watching favorite videos on YouTube channel, and even video chatting with your friends overseas. But what DNS have to do with this? The internet is made up of computers that are set up in a large network all around the world. These networks are connected by web of underground and in some cases undersea wires. The computer on the internet communicate with each other using a string of number called Internet Protocol or IP address. It acts like a street address where it identifies where computer is located on the internet and help guide information traveling between this computer.
Now, one thing computer communicate with each other, but imagine if you human had to memorize these seemingly random numbers or strings for every single website we wanted to find. Not very realistic, huh? That's when DNS become in handy. DNS translate the human-friendly domain names into an IP address. When you type a website name on your browser, computer determine if one of them has a related IP address in their memory. If it has in the memory for, let's say, you just recently use it, it will display in a split of second. If not in the local memory, computer will go out to the internet where it asks for the queries, series of DNS servers. If they have domain name in their memory or a database, the first DNS receiver, the query checks in the memory for the domain name. If it doesn't find in a memory, it sends query to the next DNS server and keeps searching. Once found, that server will return the domain name and its IP address to the requesting DNS server and on down the line until it arrives to the computer again. So, remember, if you're shopping online or streaming music, watching videos, and chat, it's not magic. It's domain name system, DNS, who does the work.
The next part is DNS namespace. DNS namespace is broken up and stored on different servers, allowing decentralized administration while still allowing centralized control. It is important in order to keep control on the internet while still allowing flexibility to individual administrators. Before that, it is important to understand the term fully qualified domain name. The term fully qualified domain name is essentially a complete domain name. For example, www.learndcn.com. DNS will translate domain name to IP address. To do this, DNS uses hierarchy of servers in order to determine the IP address of a fully qualified domain name. Once resolved the name, it is returned to the client. Estimates indicate there are over 200 million domains currently in use in the world. Because so many domain names used, the namespace needs to be divided up for administration and performance reasons. If not dividing, DNS would be difficult to implement and difficult to decentralize control. How does DNS divide up namespace? At the top of the namespace is the root domain represented by dot. The job is to provide help to resolve the next part of the address. It will be resolved from right to left. All DNS namespace end with a dot even though it do not need to put dot at the end when resolving DNS. Second is top level domain. It contains next part of the address which can be com, net, org or country codes such as AU, UK, MY and so on. Next is second level domain, registered by individuals or companies, where administrator gains some control over DNS namespace. Once created, administrator is free to create any child level domain that they wish. In child level domain contain third and fourth level domains. For the third, it can be east, west, sales, marketing and so on. For the fourth level, it can only be www. If requires, can add as many as they want for child domain.
So here's the example how DNS works. Let's say a client wants to find www.learndcn.com. DNS server will check for the IP address. But how does the DNS server know which DNS server on the internet have the information about? And how does it know if it's correct? Firstly, DNS contact the root hint server to obtain the IP address of a DNS server that can resolve .com addresses. Once it have the IP address, it will contact the .com and will return the IP address that can resolve the domain name of learndcn.com. With this info, the DNS server can now contact the learndcn.com.
Once DNS request has been resolved, the result will store in cache memory for the DNS server. The IP address in root and .com DNS server will also store in the cache memory. So now, with DNS, you can search the website name using your most comfortable language without the need to memorize the IP address. With that, we thank you.